Good evening, all of you. Hi, Rohit. I hope all of you are doing great. I welcome you to BYJU'S exam prep. And we are in the part 2 of our session, popular previous year questions from SNAP. And these are your VA questions. Okay. So, verbal ability, general English questions. That's what we are going to talk about. Okay. Goes without saying, if you find value in the session today, please do express your liking through the like button. Okay, your feedback matters. Any comments that you have, anything that you wish to ask, you can always post it in the comment section. I am active in the comment section. I'll respond. Okay, do share it with your friends who are preparing for SNAP. And yes, if you want to attend more such sessions and don't want to be worried about when those will happen, just subscribe to our channel. You'll get the notifications. Okay. All right. So, yes, so last time I told you that I'll bring those questions next time that we haven't covered, those question types. Plus, we'll practice some more questions on the usual question types, right? So that's what I've done today. We'll talk about question types like analogy, figures of speech, okay, etymology, collocation, etc. So these are some types that we didn't cover last time, and we'll practice some more questions. Okay, so that's the agenda for today. Any queries that you have, of course, you can keep asking in the chat box. All right. So, analogy, as the word suggests, what does analogy in a general English paper mean? Yes. What am I asking you to do? So, read the question instructions carefully. Usually, you have to express a relationship that is similar to the one expressed in the question pair, right? Usually, this is the case. Only once or twice I have seen this question wherein they ask you for marking a pair that is dissimilar. That is dissimilar to the pair that is given in the question stem. Very rarely will this question come, but yes, you have to be careful. So read the question instructions carefully here. Okay. All right. So Rajat has already answered. That was quick, Rajat. Turmoil is to confusion. So turmoil is to confusion. In any analogy question, we first have to figure out the relationship between the terms in the question stem. You already know this, right? So these seem to be synonymous, antonymous, unrelated. What would you say? These are synonyms. Okay, so these are synonyms, similar words as we can call them. And I am searching for a pair that is also synonymous. But the thing is that quite a few pairs here appear to be synonymous, appear to be similar, right? So Vicky says B. And yes, B, metamorphosis is a transformation. So meta, morph, osis. Meta is change. Morph is shape or form. And osis is process. So the process of a big change in the shape, in the form of something, a huge transformation, that is called a metamorphosis. So yes, these are also synonymous. But okay, so I've got C also as the answer here. Assassination is to murder. So yes, assassination is usually a term that we use when political figures or popular figures, they get murdered. We use the term assassination for them, right? There are assassins whose job it is to commit such murders, right? So ये भी synonymous है. The thing is, that is your clue. When A, B, C all are synonymous, right? Even D appears to be synonymous. That means I am searching for a very close pair here, right? Although A, B, and C are also synonymous, yet what matches turmoil, confusion? Chaos, disorder. This is what matches turmoil, confusion, and that is why D is our answer. Not A, not B, not C. So good, Rajat. And a caustic remark. Okay, great, Vicky. So a caustic remark is a bitter remark, a highly critical remark. Okay, so something that's bitter, that's critical, that is a caustic remark. I hope you're able to see what I'm writing. Just let me know when it hides behind my face, right? So caustic, bitter, critical, sarcastic. A caustic remark can be sarcastic, right? So in that sense, there is a slightly similar relationship there, right? So similar, 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 yet the perfectly similar is this pair. That's why D. Okay. So now this was your analogy question, and there is just one thing that you have to keep in mind, that an analogy question tests both your logic as well as your vocabulary. That's why some students find these questions to be trickier or tougher. Okay, so first thing that you have to do is figure out the relationship between these question terms. And then, of course, the rest rests on your vocabulary, yet don't be afraid. Okay, you can attempt these questions through elimination also. For instance, murder is a very common term, transformation is a common term, sarcastic is a common term. So it's not that all of these options are alien for you. So just figure out, keep eliminating, and if you find that, okay, three of them are all of them appear synonymous, then that is your clue that probably I'm looking for something very close. So be smart about elimination here. First, figure out the logic, work your way through vocabulary, and be smart about elimination. That's the key to attempt an analogy question. Okay. So, okay, okay. कुछ बना एग्जाम्स का ओके गगनप्रीत is asking this question. All right. So, you guys have really bonded in over the sessions. Colocation. So, find or complete the co-location words. Co-location. Words that are usually used together. Right. This, I included this question because it's an important grammar concept. Okay. Sorry, it's an important vocabulary concept actually. Yes. So D is what you say, large percentage. Which is the easiest to eliminate in this? Easiest to eliminate. Answer, okay, some of you say A, huge percentage. Okay. Large portions. Yes. Okay. More. So C is the easiest to eliminate. More percentage. Why would I use a comparative word unnecessarily when there is no context that there is some comparison being made, right? So C eliminate ho gaya easily. Now, huge, big, these are usually used for size of something, right? So large is the adjective that we use when we're talking about quantities and amounts. Quantity and amount. Okay, so large percentage is the word that we need, right? It's not like if you use big percentage, if you use huge percentage, that would be entirely wrong, but that will be very informal. Okay, with quantities, with amounts, large is the word that we prefer. Okay, so D is our answer. Yes, huge, big, they are eliminated. Good. See, D was the answer here. Now, reported speech. So last time one of you said that can we do more questions on reported speech? So here's one more. This is nothing but your direct indirect speech. So you have been given a question in direct speech, convert it to indirect speech. Yes. D, C, all right. Yes, Daisy. So GMAT tests such concepts. Okay. So for instance, I love her like a mother, or I love her as a mother. So what is the difference between like and as, right? What is the difference between huge and large? So GMAT does test such questions. Okay. In its sentence correction, as part of its sentence correction. Good. You've been attempting those questions. Colloquial proverbs. What is similar to that, Vicky? Collocation. Collocation is a different word. Location. It has to do with location, whereas loquer means to speak. Okay, so C and D, that's what I've got primarily. Okay, let's see. Which one is the answer here? So she told the boys something. So it wasn't that she was asking a question, so we eliminate B. She requested is present in all the others. So she requested the boys to wait. And how is it a request? Because there's a please. Had this please not been present, maybe she instructed them in the absence of this please. But there is this please, so we know she requested. So she requested the boys to wait there till she got back or till she comes back. Why the present tense here? Why the present tense? Comes back. Those who are saying D. So we had to convert it into the past tense because of the reporting verb told. See, if this is in the present tense, no. If I say, she says, I am young. Let's say, she says, I am young. So we keep the tense to be absolutely same. We say, she says, that she is young. We don't change the tense at all. But the moment this verb called the reporting verb goes in the past tense, it says something like said, told someone, okay, she told X, let's say. The moment it goes in the past tense, you have to change the tense here. So she requested the boys to wait there till she got back. The present changes to the past. Present simple changes to past simple. Okay? So C is our answer. All right. Now, figures of speech, they are asked on and off in your SNAP exam, and therefore you should know the common figures of speech at least for this exam. So one quick way in which you can learn these is that Renan Martin has a whole chapter on figures of speech wherein you've been given some 20-25 important figures of speech. So go through that chapter. That's the easiest way to learn the common figures of speech. Having said this, it's not like it's an exhaustive list in Renan Martin. There are I think 250 plus figures of speech in total. However, there are only a few out of those that are common and are important in our daily language. Okay, so in our everyday language. So Renan Martin should suffice, in my opinion, right? Also, in case you are an enrolled student, then usually in the verbal ability sections, we have a class wherein I talk about figures of speech. So some of you might have covered those there. Okay, so let's see. Easy question. Mayank says hyperbole. Aniruddha says C. Khushi also says hyperbole. Daisy says C. So I think there's a consensus here that it's C. Absolutely. This is hyperbole. So hyperbole is just a fancy word for exaggeration. Clearly this person is exaggerating. It is not possible to literally call out someone 1,000 times. Right? So this is exaggeration, this is hyperbole. The opposite of hyperbole, can you tell me what that is? Iska opposite. Yes. Meanwhile, while you're telling me this, does anybody think that I shouldn't have written apostrophe here? That's a grammatical concept. It's a punctuation mark, isn't it? So why have I written apostrophe here? Good, Rajat. Absolutely correct. The opposite of exaggeration or hyperbole is understatement. When you downplay something. Okay, when you downplay something. So for instance, an old man, a very old man, let's say 90-year-old man saying, oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. That is understatement. Yes, apostrophe is a figure of speech. Okay. It is also a punctuation mark, but it's also a figure of speech. So usually it's a device that is used in plays, in theater. So let's say the character who's on stage starts talking to someone who is not there on the stage, who is absent from the stage. Okay, that is called apostrophe. So addressing someone not present on the scene, that is apostrophe. Usually it is used when, let's say, somebody wants to have a conversation with someone who is dead, let's say. So for instance, there's this wife whose husband has passed away and she's saying that, oh Jamie, why did you leave me? Okay, so she's addressing this person directly, right? Why did you leave me? So we can feel the presence of that person even though he's not there. That figure of speech is apostrophe. Okay, Sometimes people even personify things and talk to them. In theater, that happens, that you personify a particular thing and you talk to it, right? Which, and this thing is also not present there. So, oh Mother Nature, why are you testing me? Okay, why is it so cold? Why are you testing me, right? So if I say that, so I've personified Mother Nature. Of course, there's no mother right now who's present here, standing here. This is apostrophe. Okay, hope you've understood this. Personification is easy. Yes, calling nature Mother Nature is apostrophe, is personification. Yes. Then repetition. Repetition. So repetition can take, by itself, it's an umbrella term that can have something like anaphora under it, epiphora under it, refrain under it, right? So repetition is an umbrella term there. Okay, so let's quickly see what is anaphora, epiphora, and refrain. Anaphora: I came, I saw, I conquered. That's what Julius Caesar said. I am not saying it, right? So this repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of each, let's say, sentence, or at the beginning of each clause, larger clause, this repetition in the beginning is called anaphora. When the repetition happens towards the end, when the repetition happens towards the end, let's say I say, love is a war, hatred is a war, and indifference is a war. Okay, just making this up on the go. So this repetition towards the end now is a war, is a war, is a war. This is called epiphora, right? A lot of times people cover this in under one anaphora only. Okay, so very few people talk about epiphora. Refrain. So refrain happens usually in music. There is this one, so in songs, there is this one sentence that keeps on repeating at intervals. That is called a refrain. Okay, when this one sentence keeps on repeating at intervals. So then there are poems also wherein one sentence repeats itself. For instance, this Still I Rise and Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. Okay, so there is this repetition at intervals of the sentence I rise, I rise, I rise. Okay, so that is refrain. Hope you understood it. All right. Apostrophe is clear then. And is there any differentiate? Okay. Yes, Khushi. There is a point to differentiate between apostrophe and personification. See, apostrophe may make use of personification. Apostrophe can or may make, there's a possibility that it makes use of personification, but it's not a necessity. The necessity in apostrophe is that the person that you are talking to, or the thing, the personified thing that you're talking to, should be absent from the scene. वो वहां नहीं है, ठीक है, वो नेसेसरी है. अब अगर आप थिंग्स से बातें कर रहे हो तो आपको पर्सोनिफाई करना पड़ेगा वहां पे, isn't it? So that's why it may employ personification, but it's not a necessity, right? Okay, chalo. Figures of speech. It's like an ocean. If I go into the depth of all the figures of speech, the main ones you can learn from Renan Martin. Okay. Right. Parts of speech. So somebody said this, that I'm weak in parts of speech. So if that is the case, that means you need to attempt questions, as many questions on the 8 parts of speech that are there. Renan Martin can again come to your rescue in this case. It has a lot of fill in the blanks questions that will strengthen your understanding of what a noun is, what an adjective is. So you can practice from there. Meanwhile, tell me the answer for this question. Yes. Correct, Daisy. Absolutely correct. Everybody says C. Do we agree? Yes, it's an adjective. Okay, so hiding place. Place is the noun here. It is describing the noun. It is adding details to the noun. So it's an adjective. Because adjectives, they add details to a noun or a pronoun. That is their function. Okay, so sometimes students think that because there's an ing, it should be a verb. No, it should not be a verb. I understand that hide is a verb and that I have added an ing here. But this combined now is being used to describe a noun, so it's not a verb anymore. Right? In fact, this type of usage of a verb as an adjective, this is called a present participle. This is a present participle. So instead of writing adjective here, I could have also written, if let's say I want to really test you, go into the depth of grammar, although Snap hasn't done this in the past. So I could have written present participle, right? So this type of an adjective is called present participle. It is not functioning as a noun here. It is rather describing a noun, and definitely it's not an adverb. Adverbs don't describe nouns, right? So Jigar, I hope this is clear. Adverbs describe verbs, they describe adjectives, and they describe other adverbs. Okay, so that's their job. All right. Chalo, let's move to the next question then. Etymology, and sometimes, yes, Snap asks these questions wherein it will ask you the meaning of a prefix. Okay, the meaning of a suffix. Or this time this question came, choose the word not having a prefix. This one time this question came. So which one do you think, which word does not have a prefix? So Mohit, no, it was not a gerund. Gerund is a noun, right? So it was not acting as a gerund there because noun nahi tha na, gerund is a noun. Okay. Yes, a dancing girl, Daisy, correct. So dancing is an adjective there. Very good. It's a present participle. Okay, distemper is what I'm getting. Absolutely correct. So, actually, we broke these words. Yes, that was the easiest way to do it. Like honest, agree, we have added the prefix dis there. Now, distemper, when I talk about the paint, that is actually one complete word. If I go into the depth of it, no, if I actually go into its roots, it does make use of the prefix dis. However, if I break it into two, break the word distemper into two, then usually you would not hear the word temper in the sense of painting something. Okay. That is why probably they've extended the answer as A. Otherwise, if you go into the depth, if you go into the etymology of the word no, you can separate dis and temper. Okay. However, we can quickly see that, okay, these are separate words and we have just added this here, whereas distemper is one whole thing. It's a sort of a paint, an oil-based paint. That's why A. Okay. What is prefix, suffix? Okay, so prefix, pre, before. So what you fix before a particular root, that is the prefix. So it comes in the front of a word. Suffix done after. So suffix will come at the end. For instance, if I say, you know what, this is an incontrovertible fact. This is an incontrovertible fact. Something that you can't dispute. It's indisputable. Okay. So see the number of constituents that it is made up of. Incontrovertible. In is the prefix. It's a negative prefix. It means not here. Able comes from able, capable of, being capable of. Okay, and contro and vert are the roots here. In a sense, even prefixes and suffixes are also roots only. वो भी क्या है, यूनिट ऑफ वर्ड ही तो है, तो इन अ सेंस दे आर ऑल्सो रूट्स, बस हमने उनको नेम दे दिया, इसको प्रीफिक्स बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि पहले आता है, इसको सफिक्स बोल दिया क्योंकि बाद में आता है. ठीक है. कॉन्ट्रो इज अगेंस्ट, वर्ड इज टर्न. सो समथिंग that you cannot turn against, something that you cannot turn against is incontrovertible. Okay, hope this is clear. Right. So language words, they are very interesting. Right. Each word can have a story behind it. Idioms. So idioms do come in Snap. Again, it's not a given that it will come every year, but they do come on and off. So you should be aware of the idioms. The questions that I have seen, I haven't found some very difficult idioms as such. Okay. Whatever questions I have found, they have asked common idioms, and through elimination, a student can attempt those questions. So for instance, here, pretty close, spinning a tale, a yarn, a story. So in case you even roughly remember what the idiom is, I think you can crack this. So Rajat says B, Jyoti says C, Daisy says B. All right. Others. Jigar says B. ओहो क्या हो गया विकी इतना स्ट्रेस आर यू टेलिंग द ट्रूथ या फिर बस कहानियां गढ़ रहे हो we say this in Hindi no कहानियां गढ़ रहा था वो तो so in English it's called spinning a yarn so in case Hindi is your mother tongue you can associate it with कहानियां गढ़ना okay I hope I am spelling this correct right so spinning a yarn so usually you require a lot of cotton to spin a yarn right so कहते ना तो लंबी लंबी फेंक रहा था so something similar right yes to tell a long fanciful story absolutely correct no it's not C spinning a story no spinning a tale no the idiom is this only we can't do anything about it ये fixed है ठीक है B all right so this question is a memory based question from Snap 2019 right let's see what you answer for this Megha says B. Yes. A story which is a fanciful, something that's just made up or cooked up, a cooked up story. All right. I've got C, a lot of C's. Okay. So, when the engineer visited the dash, the chaos of cement, steel, and sand was a horrible dash, something, a horrible thing to see. That's what I mean. He visited a place, perhaps. So he had no option but to write that in his report. So that's what I'm looking for. So a place, it's definitely not this site, right? This site is related to our vision, ये वाला site. So ये भी eliminate हो गया. Either C or D. Then thing to see when we talk about something that you see, I have just told you ये वाला है. So the second blank takes this. C is our answer. This is the place wala site. This is vision wala site. This is to record something, okay, or to refer to something wala site. Right? Yes, absolutely correct, Vicky. So here, even if you knew one of these, you could have answered this correctly. Okay. So this was in Snap 2019. It's a memory-based question. I found this synonym question interesting. Let's see how many of you know the meaning of this word for low. To cite, okay. So citation, you must have heard this word. Cite is the verb, citation is the noun. So to cite is basically to officially record something, right? Record in the sense in a document. That's what it means. Citation for you must have seen researchers, excuse me, scholars talking about citations. Okay, I have cited this paper in my research. I have cited X and Y's paper in my research. So that means you have referred to them. You have studied their work and you have referred to them. So to record, to refer, that is the meaning of this cite. So he cited it. He wrote it in his report. Okay, getting a lot of A's here. C also, all right. Furlough. Okay. So I read a lot about furloughs in the newspaper during COVID times, right? So now it's a leave of absence. Furlough is a leave of absence. And your salary is not deducted for this period of time. So, usually it is given to members of the military or even the church, right? So, soldiers' holiday is our answer, right? Soldiers, there should have been an apostrophe here, soldiers' holiday. And it is also used, it was used during the COVID times when a lot of employees were asked not to come to the office, and wherever it was not possible to work from home, they were given this sort of a holiday, a leave of absence with pay. Okay, so that's when I read a lot of this term. So it was there in the Guardian primarily, right? Because the West can afford that. So that's where I came across it. A. All right, good. Now, uh, did I get some other answers here? C, I got. All right. Wooden plow. No, no, no. Students associate somehow this low with plow. No, no, no. Okay. Sentence correction. This is a very interesting question. We'll discuss this. Yes. So you have to choose the correct option. Tell me. Okay. None. Is it? Hmm. But I've seen people saying this, myself Kedar, myself Nikita. What's wrong with that? I'm telling you I am Nikita by saying myself Nikita. हाँ, myself चुलबुल पांडे सी करता है वो इंट्रोड्यूस ऐसे. Okay, you are correct. None of the above is the answer, and not B. Okay, so students say this. I am from Mumbai. This while I agree that I am from Mumbai, this part is correct. The myself Kedar part is wrong. A lot of people use this to introduce themselves, but it's an absolutely wrong introduction, grammatically speaking. You should say, I mean, this person here should have said, I am Kedar or my name is Kedar. Why is that? Because myself is a reflexive or an emphatic pronoun. It can function as either of the two. What does that mean? So you use myself only when you've used I earlier. So I like myself, right? If I say that. Because I used I was the subject of this sentence. The same person was the subject and the same person is the object. When that happens, then in the place of the object, you don't use me here, you use myself. So the same person is the subject, the same person is the object. We say that the object is a reflection of the subject. That's why the name reflexive. The object is a reflection of the subject, right? Or it is sometimes used for emphasis. You know, the chief minister himself came to attend the function. The chief minister himself attended the function. So now I am just using himself to emphasize. उसका जरूरत भी नहीं है देखो sentence में. Even if you delete it, the sentence makes perfect sense. Chief minister ने attend करा, the chief minister attended the function. You are just emphasizing, oh such an important person खुद आए वो. ठीक है? So it's used either as a reflexive pronoun or as an emphatic pronoun. There is no third use of myself. Right? The correct way, I am Kedar or my name is Kedar. All right. Okay. Okay. Absolutely correct. The savvy girl, Daisy, correct. Yes, Jigar, that's wrong. It's actually a practice that has somehow seeped in. Just like when we ask people, no, what's your good name? You know, this is particularly a very Indian thing. What's your good name? Uh, Ideally, in a global context, we should ask what's your name. The good name thing works only in India. That's because in Hindi we say आपका शुभ नाम क्या है? तो आप हमने वो शुभ को ना गुड में कर दिया. Okay, otherwise in a global international context, this is wrong. You should simply ask what's your name. Okay. tell me about yourself. Then how can I start? So you should simply say I am okay Jyoti. If they're already saying that, that means they know your name. So you could start by saying something that you like to do, something that you've achieved, all those things. But you will still not say myself. You'll still not start with myself. Okay, why are they using yourself? Let's talk about that. Why is this person saying tell me about yourself? How are they allowed to say it and we are not? Okay, so when we say please tell me something about yourself. So why is this person using yourself? Why not you? Okay, that is because this person is addressing you. Because this person is directly addressing you, इसलिए वो separately बोल नहीं रहा कि you please tell me something about yourself. It's sort of understood कि तुम ही से पूछ रहा है. ठीक है? So this you is skipped. This you is skipped. But in essence, this person is asking you this only. You tell me something about. Now, because you are the one who is telling and you are telling something about you only. So you see the same person is the subject and the same person is the object of this preposition here. That is why we are using yourself and not you. Okay. Hope this makes sense. That you, the first you is implied there. Okay. So both are correct actually, Rutvik. I belong to Mumbai. I am from Mumbai. Both are correct. Okay. So here you are showing a sense of belonging to your, perhaps it's your birthplace, right? So a sense of belonging, that's what comes across. Shows your ties to the place. I am from Mumbai. Here you're treating it as a location, right? Okay. This is where I am from. Yahan se I am, right? So both are correct. Neither is incorrect there. All right. Chalo, I hope this is clear. अगर ये होता I am के दार, then both A and B would have been correct. ज्योति, अभिषेक. ठीक है? All right then. So now we can proceed to our next question. I hope. Error spotting. Chalo, spot the errors. One error is pretty clear. Yes? I am born in Sydney. It seems like it's this person's habit. मैं सिडनी में पैदा होता हूँ. Right? As if it's a habit. So this am is incorrect. I was born in Sydney. Right? So 3 is definitely incorrect. ये 3 के लिए ये वाला symbol है. ठीक है? So B or C. Now B has 1. My parents. Parents is not a proper noun. It's a common noun. Okay, so that is why 1 and 3 both are incorrect. B's are answer. Okay, so here actually this error a lot of students don't notice because in grammar questions you don't usually get this type of an error. It's not a usual thing, but this came, all of these are your previous year questions. So this came 1 year when they capitalized parents, right? And then the student had to be careful about this as well, that ये common noun है, proper noun नहीं है. ठीक है? So through this they are testing your concept, your understanding of common nouns and proper nouns. So B is the answer. Because parents shouldn't be capitalized, no? It's a common noun. Parents is not a unique name, no? A couple, usually a couple that shares some traits. For instance, they have either given birth to a particular child or have adopted that particular child. All those couples are called parents. So it's a common noun, not a proper noun, right? No, it wasn't a typo. Shreesh, a good question. See, usually these are the last things that we look at. Okay, so Shreesh is asking, should we then look at uppercase, lowercase also? Should we look at punctuation also? Usually these are the last things that you should look for. You should look for other errors first. So once, that's why, the first thing that I did was to mark 3 as the error. Then I double checked, okay, one mein koi error to nahi hai. Then I cross checked once and I realized, okay, parents shouldn't be capitalized. And it was given as it is in the exam. In fact, in the exam, this comma was not put. I put it when I was writing this sentence because I didn't want you to be extra confused. Right? Although confusion nahi hota because 2 is not there in any option, still I wanted to frame it right. Exam mein ye comma bhi nahi tha, but you didn't have to look for punctuation. So punctuation is the last thing that we look at when attempting grammar questions. And yes, uppercase, lowercase also, you should pay attention to it only when you have some option. Okay, which makes this to be the likely answer. All right. Ishita, correct? Acha, you've got it. It should be Indian or Indians. My parents are Indians. Okay. So, actually both are correct. If you want to frame it as an adjective, you will say Indian. If you want to use it as a noun, you will say Indians. Okay, both are correct. No errors there. However, usually when we talk about nationalities, no. So she is, yeah, we usually use the adjective form when we talk about when we talk in this context, no, the context in which this person is saying, but I was born in Sydney. So ये grammatical error नहीं है, but usage में आप usually adjective use करते हो. My parents are Australian, but I was born in India. So, I have seen people using the adjective usually. However, that does not make it a grammatical error. ठीक है? Yes, options matter a lot. See, you should attempt your questions through elimination, be they grammar questions, even for vocabulary questions. Don't just leave a question because you feel मुझे इस word का meaning तो पता ही नहीं जो question में पूछा हुआ है. Maybe you know the meanings of all the options and you're able to eliminate. Okay, so if you're able to eliminate, you're able to narrow down to 2, and there also you have a 70-30 probability, let's say. So then please mark the one that you have assigned a 70% probability to. Don't leave it there. That's what I would suggest. Okay. All right. Is it a common noun? Which one? Indian. Indians. Yes, yes. Common noun. Absolutely. There are so many people who are Indians, right? So many people who share that nationality. So it's a common noun. All right. Now, I hope I've addressed your queries. Let's go to the next question. Antonym. Yes. Give the word that is opposite in meaning to the given word. This is an adjective. Okay. I've got a quick answer also. Good. Others, do we agree? Okay. So most of you say A. In fact, I think everybody's saying A only. That's the answer. Absolutely correct. Okay. So servile. Somebody who is very, what kind of a person would a servile person be? Compliant. Okay. Somebody who's pliant. Somebody who is obedient, submissive. That person is servile. The word servant also, see, both of them come from the verb serve. So servile is the adjective. Okay. Servant is the noun. A servant, usually the trait that is looked for in a servant is this servility, or that the person should be servile, the person should listen to you, right? So both come from the word serve. And the opposite is somebody who's very dominating. Yes, imperious. That is see, yes, emperor. It shares a root with emperor. Very good. Who said this? Neerav said this. Very good. So, imperious means somebody who's very dominating. Domineering, right? Domineering is also a synonym of dominating only. That person is imperious. The imperious curse, you remember from Harry Potter? This was the spelling of the imperious curse. So J.K. Rowling took it from here only. In a way, that person is now dominated completely by another person, right? That's why the name imperious. Obsequious, subservient, very good, Daisy, very good. Sycophant is a related word. Yes, we could say sycophant, a related word. Dogmatic, related again to imperious. All right. Helpful. Helpful has a positive connotation to it. Servile is not always positive. In fact, when we say servile, it's not a desirable trait in, let's say, you and me. We shouldn't really be obsequious. We shouldn't really be sycophantic. Chamche type nahi hona chahiye na. So it's helpful is a positive word, while these words, obsequious, sycophantic, subservient, these are not really positive words. Okay. So synonyms are also not perfect substitutes. When you look up the dictionary, in fact, Oxford has changed its nomenclature. Instead of writing synonyms for a word, it uses the nomenclature similar words now. Ab synonyms nahi likhta wo bhi. Okay, because synonyms, while they are supposed to mean same name, a lot of times synonyms can have a very different connotation. ठीक है, अब मैं किसी को बोलूं frugal और किसी को बोलूं stingy, although in the dictionary they appear as synonyms, but stingy has such a negative vibe to it. Yes, whereas frugal is ठीक है, simple means का इंसान है, right? So words have images attached to them which are called connotation, and synonyms are not exact substitutes. All right, let's see a migratory word here. So migratory in the sense that we are talking about American English, British English. So yes, sports fans, I want your responses. What do you think? I hope you're not tired. We've not done so many questions for you to be tired. Okay. Okay. Yes, stingy has a more negative connotation. Srish. उसका मतलब होता है कंजूस मक्खी चूस type. That person is stingy. Frugal is simply a person of simple means, a few means, a person who leads a simple lifestyle. Strike ball, rounders, that's what I'm getting. Okay. So the answer is rounders here. Okay. So in British English, they refer to it as rounders. Now, some students told me that there are subtle differences between baseball and rounders. However, broadly, this is what I found on the internet, that rounders is something that Britishers call the baseball, the American one. There's a British baseball also called the Welsh baseball as well, but wo unka apna hai. ठीक है? So rounders is the best fit here out of these options, right? Way is something that you can do all the same here. That's why I chose this as a career, right? So good, Srish. We share that feeling, that sentiment. Yes, Mia Kalpa. You must have heard this. I've read this in multiple novels. Mia Kalpa. Okay. Yes, Daisy. That's my understanding too. So Kalpa. Culprit. Does it resemble culprit? Does a bit, yes. So culpable. If I say this is a culpable crime, okay, this is, here is the culprit. I'm talking about some sort of crime here. So definitely it's not about these things. It means I am to blame. Okay, so my fault is what it means. So mea culpa, you would usually, let's say someone says no, you're not correct, the answer is not A, it's D. So you say oh mea culpa, yes, the answer is D. So yes, my fault. That's the idea. I am to blame. All right. So this was a migratory word for you. This is a Latin term that has been adopted in English. Okay. Migratory words, yes, do appear from time to time as you've seen. These are again your previous year questions. So they do appear. Yes, it's Latin. When absolutely correct, Daisy. Chalo, tell me this. The placement of doubtlessly or doubtless. Just a few questions to go. Origin stage, it's a Latin word, Latin term actually. Okay. So you would, first of all, let's deal with one thing at a time here. Right? You basically, these are the two answers that I'm getting. Let's deal with one thing at a time. You would be somewhat surprised or you would somewhat be surprised. What would you say? Forget doubtless, doubtlessly for a while. You would be somewhat surprised or you would somewhat be surprised. You would be somewhat surprised. Yes, you would be somewhat surprised. So that means these two out of the window. ये तो already out of the window था. We need an adverb, not an adjective. You would doubtlessly be somewhat surprised to get this letter. Right? You would doubtlessly be somewhat surprised. I hope that makes sense. Absolutely. No, not somewhat be. You would be somewhat surprised. See. Let me explain the rationale also. ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हैं हम? You would be somewhat surprised. So, surprised is the adjective. I hope you've understood this. So, happy, sad, surprised. This is the adjective. Now, I am describing this. No. कितना surprised? To what extent will you be surprised? Somewhat. ज़्यादा नहीं, somewhat. So this adverb here is describing this adjective, and the rule in grammar says that adverbs or any modifying word for that matter, it should be placed as near as possible to whatever it is modifying to avoid any confusion. Right? So you would be somewhat surprised, not somewhat be surprised. Why create an unnecessary gap between the two? And that is why B is our answer. All right. What does this emoticon mean, Jigar? Students make it, but I don't know the meaning. Yes. Vocabulary based FIB. Let's see. Let's see what you say. Okay, it's a thumbs up. Oh, okay. A, I've got. Gaganpreet says A. So you sent a thumbs up. Our team also sent a thumbs up in return. They're asking you to like the session. A, B. All right. Confused between A and B. Good. That's what I expected. So good that you've eliminated epigraphic and numismatic. But before we reject them, what is epigraphic? What is epigraph? Yes, that will clarify the meaning. So you've seen these inscriptions, these old inscriptions, yes, that archaeologists are always digging up. So these inscriptions, any inscription for that matter, usually on pieces of stone, on rocks, they are called epigraphs. Also, there's another meaning. So epigraph is it's a versatile word. One meaning is inscription. The other meaning of epigraph is, sometimes authors, before starting a chapter, they usually write one quote or one sentence that tells you a bit about the chapter. So this heading of sorts before a chapter, this is also called an epigraph, right? So epigraphic would be related to an inscription or related to this heading. That is epigraphic. So eliminate it. Graphene is to write, correct Pratik. So written on stone. Epigraph is written on stone. Then this other epigraph is written on top of a chapter, right? Map-based studies, cartography. The study of maps actually, not map-based study. The study of maps is cartography. And the art of designing maps is also called cartography. Okay. Okay. Abstract. Yes. In a sense, an abstract jigger before of the chapter. Correct. So what is numismatic? Numismatic, again an adjective. When you study coins, currency, right? The study of currency is called numismatics. The study of currency is called numismatics. That's the noun. And numismatic is the adjective. That means related to the study of coins or any other form of currency, right? That is numismatic. तो अब ये हो गया eliminate. ये दोनों options हो गए eliminate. But they ended up teaching us two new words. The influence of the environment on man is revealed by an ecological study, not an anthropological study. Anthropological study is concerned with the evolution of human beings, okay, or some studying some things related to human beings. But when I talk about the influence of the environment on man, so ecology is the field that studies the influence of environment on things around it and people around it and animals around it. So the influence of the environment on the living beings, that is what ecology studies, and therefore B is the answer. Okay. All right. Medals. Medals. Yes, basically you could talk about tokens. So medals are in a sense tokens of appreciation. So in that sense, yes, the study of tokens would also be numismatics, right? So coins, tokens, paper money. Okay, so that is numismatics. All right. Is astro related to human evolution? That is astro. Jigar, you wanted to write something else. Okay, so you write it. Meanwhile, let's see a grammar based question. You need to fill in the correct conjunction here. Okay, so here's your clue. Let's see what you say. Okay. So 15-second question. Absolutely, absolutely. This is a time saving question, right? So quickly answer this, then I'll go back to the previous question. We'll talk about it. Okay, C, B. All right, C, B. Do not eat the cake. Wait for your friends come. Wait for your friends to come होना चाहिए था ना फिर तो. So for cannot come, right? So wait till your friends come. I am looking for a conjunction here. Wait till your friends come, right? So C is the answer. Good. Okay. All right. So I've got a couple of questions here. Let's go back. Anthropology. Anthropos means humans. Anthropos, humans. So it's the study of humankind. Now, what do we study about humans? Okay, so their evolution, their behavior, their culture, their languages, their anything related, their biology, even that. So all of that comes under anthropology. It's a very vast field, right? Ecology is the impact of, eco here means environment, the impact of environment on the surroundings, okay, on other things, so the living beings, etc., right? So That's the difference. And any other query that was there? Epigraph, yes. Epigraph is one meaning is an inscription written on a stone. The other is a quote or a sentence written on the top of a chapter that tells us something about that chapter in a novel, etc. Right? अच्छा, अब क्या question था एक? That should I attempt VA section first or last? See, it entirely depends on what is your strength, right? So, play to your strengths, right? And you are the best judge whether general English is your strength or not, right? However, yes, it does have a lot of time-saving questions. So for those students who want to, feel this that, in the first few minutes, I want to attempt a lot of questions that gives me a lot of confidence. In that case, yes, you can go for vocabulary and grammar questions. They are usually your time-saving questions. They boost your confidence that way. Spellings, हाँ जी. So एक इसमें से incorrect है. Tell me which one is that? Good, good, good. Daisy, Shubhangi, very good. Diksha, Abhinav, I'll answer that. Good question. Pernicious is the word, not pernicious, right? There are two words. Precocious, a precocious child, somebody wise beyond their age. Wise beyond your age is precocious. Pernicious is something that's harmful, dangerous. That is pernicious. All the other spellings are correct. Now, epitaph versus epigraph. Epitaph is somebody's tombstone. Epitaph is somebody's tombstone. The one that usually, says the name of the person from this time to this time, writes a quote or anything. That is epitaph. Taphine means to die, I think. Something, it has something to do with tomb or death, right? So that's where it comes from. Great Lakes 2 year course is considered to 1 year course is considered to be better than its 2 year course any day, right? And it's if you consider your colleges in tiers, let's say you categorize them, then it would be a tier 2 college, Great Lakes, in my opinion, right? If you want to, again, if you're serious about your exams and you think that okay, this year you're going to crack some exams, you've taken some exams and you're expecting that, you can join a VAT-PI program. There we talk about all these things in a lot of detail. Okay. Yes, detrimental, deleterious, good, Daisy, correct. Insidious, that would also be a synonym of pernicious. Right. So these were some questions for you for today. I hope you enjoyed the session. We have covered quite a few questions. Do show your appreciation. Okay, press the like button. If you have any queries, post them in the comment section. Somebody or the other will answer, even if I don't. Right? And yes, SNAP 2021, the first batch of it is going to happen, and we are going to conduct an analysis on 19th at 5 p.m. So do join us, right? Then, yes, there's a quiz. There's a Telegram quiz this weekend on Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Okay, usually your entrance-based questions, 15 questions to be attempted in 45 seconds each. Let's see who wins it, and we'll see the winner on our YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome all of you. Cajole is to persuade someone through flattery. Cajole is to persuade someone through flattery. Okay. Tomorrow, no. Tomorrow is my oh yes. Tomorrow is not my off day. Tomorrow is Saturday. So at 5:30, yes, I'll see you on the BYJU'S exam prep app. So I have an app session wherein I'll bring an RC passage for you, right? And we will attempt it, we'll dissect it. It's of course going to be a relatively difficult previous year RC, and we're going to dissect it, discuss it, and see how we can become better at such RC, right? So I'll see you at 5:30. Okay. Then how to join, Sharat? I'll just give you the details. They'll come in this after this slide only, right? So yes, those who are taking XAT 2022, we are conducting some sessions called under this category called the last lap to ZAT 2022. 9 power packed sessions, okay, where we'll discuss some highly probable questions, some extremely popular past year questions, which of course will help you to boost your score. I think all of you should attend this, because when it comes to ZAT, anyway, we don't have a lot of material that is of ZAT level. Okay, nobody has it because that is a unique exam. So the past year papers and the probable questions that our team will frame, they'll be a very good guide for you. Yes, so these are the details of the PIVAT program. You can call up this number for the details, okay, to join it, or don't drop a mail, just call up, okay, call up straight away and you'll get all the details there. Okay, all right. The currently running batches, in case you are interested, your friends are interested, and this is our team. And yes, I've already told you this, right? ZAT session for English is on 21st, Priyansh. Okay. Welcome all of you, those who wrote earlier, just looking at the comment section. Okay. It will be multi-streamed, Abir. These sessions, the ZAT 2022 sessions, they will be multi-streamed. So definitely it will be there on YouTube. So you can join through YouTube. Okay. Can we expect an RC passage? See, I can't definitely comment on that. In 15 questions that are to be attempted in 15 minutes, it depends again. I don't want to make a prediction. See, because Snap also has these time constraints, yet Snap does ask RC passages. Sorry, NMAT does ask such passages. So if they follow the last year's pattern, then no. Okay, if they decide to surprise you, then they can ask. Okay, just to put you under that time pressure. All right. Yes, all the very best for Snap to all of you. Okay, do well, and please don't be under any sort of pressure, right? So stay calm and perform well. All the best. Bye. See you. Difficulty level मैं कैसे predict करूँ Snap का? I can't predict it. Okay. Bye.